we really need to be careful leaving children around men. Not on men. But let's talk about this dad. If you didn't know, this is the sleepover dad, slumber party dad, who put in preteens smoothies and then tried to allegedly assault them. So, it feels weird to use this. I use this in all my stories, but like, I'm so upset by this story. I'm also so proud of these girls. And so I want to keep the focus on that because as horrific as this story is, it also made me feel so much more hopeful because of the way these girls handled it, especially one girl who heroic, and the way those parents rallied behind these girls as well. But let's get into like the part that is very disturbing first. Massive trigger warning. Okay, before I get into this, please follow my Patreon. That's where I talk more about my own healing, my own stories, life in France, dating, all kinds of stuff. And I'm doing lives over there. I have some very exciting lives coming up. One is in like a week and a half. I've got very exciting lives coming up. I'm going to interview some amazing people. So please go over there and check it out. So I'm going to cover this story. I'm also going to add my own sleepover story at the end. Anyway, just brace yourself. This is kind of a difficult story, but it also has a lot of hope. So please just, if you're triggered, don't watch. But there is hope in this story. So this dude was sentenced to prison, but only 2 years. 4 girls were in danger. 4 girls were, and 2 years. This is like Brock Turner, like energy all over again. We see it all the time. But still, I want to talk about how the justice system not only did not punish this, but has failed these girls and their family all along the way, even when this happened. The crazy thing is that of all the charges, the 9 charges that were brought against him, none of them involved, attempted SA. None of them. Even though there's no way that that's not what that man was going to do. Let me show you why. First of all, he pled guilty to spiking their smoothie. So he didn't even deny this. But his dumb reasoning plays into the classic approach of these men. I didn't know. We talk about how the weaponized incompetence, and we usually talk about it in terms of like men pretending to be dumb when it comes to doing domestic labor or any of that stuff, and they act like they don't buy, so we'll step in it. This is, they're using the same, I didn't know, I'm dumb, I'm a bad dad. Literally played the bad dad card to get out of, I'm getting ahead of myself. So on August 25th of last year, 3 of this man's daughter's friends attended a sleepover. All 4 girls are 12 years old. They're not even teenagers yet. They're like preteens. Court documents, the girl said that he had been very involved in their activities during the sleepover and was constantly checking in on them and interjecting himself into their conversation. Between 9 and 11 p.m., he prepared the 3 visiting girls and his daughter. This dude, his own daughter, and insisted that they drink. Each of the smoothies had colored straws to distinguish the cup, and it was alleged that he was adamant that the girls drink out of their own cup. The girls described the smoothies as having tiny white chunks throughout and sprinkled on top. What else could these white chunks be? One of the girls did not like the smoothie and didn't try it, but told police that this dude then made her another smoothie and encouraged her to drink it. Gotta make those chunks smaller, right? Maybe gotta make it taste a little different to cover up the taste of this. Reportedly, he became upset when he thought one of the girls and his daughters had switched straws between smoothies. He's got to keep up with who is consuming the most. It says that the girls retired to the basement to sleep. During the night, one of the girls said that she became aware of him entering the basement. The girl pretended to be asleep. How relatable is that? I know one of my big topics I talk about is sleep trauma, and how much women have so much trauma from our sleep. Not just women, but this is so common. Myself included. I'm narcoleptic, and I absolutely, because some of the stuff that was done to me as a child happened while I was asleep or attempting to be asleep, and I am a master fake sleeper. I can't tell you how many times in my life, whether it was in a situation where I felt unsafe and I thought some dude was going to crawl into my bed, or a guy was literally in my bed, or an abusive partner, or whatever it was, I can control my breath. And I can be like, I can make it look, I can make rise and fall, pattern sleep like this, and I can see perfectly through my eyelashes so it looks like I'm asleep. I am a master fake sleeper. Why do you think that is? Why do you think so many women are masters at pretending to sleep? This 12-year-old girl knew exactly what to do. Where did she learn that? Why does she know that? I'm telling you all this stuff. It's not that, like, of course, anyone can pretend can pretend to sleep. What I'm saying is that this pretending to sleep is such a am I crazy? Am I crazy? Tell me I'm not crazy. Every time I do a video about sleep and women's sleep and how many of these men, husbands, coerce their wives. Or I did a whole article on Suzanne Summers for Glamour magazine, how she was like, he like has me while I'm sleeping all the time. And I wrote a whole article about how that is rape. You can't consent when you're asleep. This is such a big problem. Men do this to us all the time. And they do, especially if we've been drinking or knowingly or unknowingly doing wrong. So this right here, I mean, the fact that this 12-year-old knew exactly what to do, it makes me sad and like so proud of her. This really bizarre way. She pretended to be asleep and reported that he took the sleeping friend next to her and moved her body further towards the opposite side of the bed. Tell me this man was not absolutely about to abuse her. The conscious girl was alarmed and moved closer to her friend again. She said he left the basement but then returned a little while later. The girl said she pretended to be asleep again, and that this time he again approached the friend he moved before and placed his finger under her nose and waved his hand in front of her face as if to see if she was soundly asleep. That's exactly what he was doing. Did those kick in yet? He then left the room again. The conscious girl, scared, began to text and call her parents repeatedly. One of the messages in the report said, "Mom, please pick me up and say I had family emergency. Don't feel safe. Might not respond, but please come." This is like literally the smartest. This is the smartest text I've ever seen. Like, I have chills right now, y'all. I'm very triggered by this whole story, but I just want to talk about it. "Come get me," crying emoji. "Please, please pick up. Please, please," all caps. She also called and texted several family friends asking for a ride. The court documents alleges that this dude then re-entered the basement and stood near the headboard while watching the girl as she continued to pretend to be asleep. Before going over to where the two girls were sleeping. A family friend received the conscious girl's text and arrived at his home to pick her up. This is why you need a community, you need a village. You cannot parent on your own. What if these family friends had not been awake or woken up by this? He let the girl leave. The girl told police that she slammed. Oh my God. This made me like almost burst into tears when I read it a while ago. The girl told the police she slammed the door very loudly while leaving and was concerned when her friends didn't wake up. Like, at every turn, she's thinking of the safety of her friends. She is thinking about how to get them out without alerting this man, to knowing that she knows what's up. She never can, like, talk about, this is literally the best possible way she could have handled this. And she's 12. She's 12. Do you know, as an adult, as a grown adult, I'm not sure I would have done this. I still freeze and freeze. Fawn or freeze. This gives me so much hope, as disturbing as this story is. She did it perfectly, and she did not leave her friend. She left with them only to return with help. Upon arriving home, the girl woke her parents, who then tried to contact the parents of the sleepover attendees. The girl's parents decided to go back to the home and retrieve the remaining 2 friends. So it sounds like they couldn't get in touch with them. And instead of just being like, oh, well, hope it turns out well, they got them out of that house. What if they had not gone back, y'all? The parents insisted on taking the girls, and eventually he let them inside. The girls were awakened by the first girl's parents retrieving their things and left the house. His daughter remained in the home. Oh, God. That poor girl. Police reported that during an interview with the girl that the dad had moved and waved his hand in front of, she was moving and speaking slowly. The girl told them after drinking the smoothie, she felt woozy, hot, and clumsy, and tipping over before falling into a thick, deep sleep. Her parents told police that the girl had been scared and dizzy after returning home and kept asking what happened. Documents show that the 3 friends at the sleepover tested positive for this thing. I don't know how to say it. I don't care. Sleeping pills, basically. Wrongs. Which none of them were prescribed or would normally have access to. Of course he gave it to them. Police, like, there's no question. And he even admitted it. Police explained that the I don't care, are depressants that can be used to cause sleepiness, confusion, impaired reflexes, and amnesia. Perfect. Perfect. We know what his man was trying to do. At the sentencing, the child and the families provided victim impact statements during the sentencing. I'm going to read a little bit of that in a minute. 2 years with 3 years of parole. That's what those children's lives are worth. So much trauma in that, even though like nothing happened, their sense of safety in the world is gone forever. It will take so much for these girls to ever trust someone again. I say this as a survivor of this. So again, the only things he was charged with was giving them this stuff and watching them. That's it. So one of the mothers said, "You played Russian roulette with my child's life. She's barely 5 feet tall and on a good day, 70 pounds soaking wet, and you overdosed her." She said the medical testing showed the level of in her child's system was off the chart. This dude could have literally unalived her with this level. The third girl looked at him and told him, "I am disgusted by the look of your face and your actions and all that you have done. You are horrible, and I will always hate you for what you've done." Good. Some more details about it. The girls stated that they played in the sprinklers, went to the hot tub, took showers, and got ready for bed at his direction. The majority of their time was in the basement, where they were having a spa night, watching movies and while they did facials. Imagine this just kind of like, y'all, I just loved, sometimes some slumber parties end up being nightmares because sometimes there's drama and girls being really mean to each other. But in general, I loved sleepovers. I loved being with my friends and doing this kind of crap. Imagine, like, I'm at a loss of words, maybe for the first time. And those parents, they came over at 3 a.m. to get those girls. And initially he resisted and said, come back and get them in the morning. Don't interrupt their sleep. Even 12 hours after she drank that smoothie, one of the girls was walking slowly and used the assistance of her mother for balance. Her eyelids were heavy and she spoke slowly. This dad right here 57-year-old dad of the year. This little perfect house. I'm not going to show her name, but this is his wife. I don't know what this is all about, but I wouldn't be surprised if this dude, oh God, I don't even know. So all the girls tested positive, right? One of the mothers said, no decent parent feels the need to harm their own child and her friends. No decent parent feels the need to go down and confirm that the children are unconscious. No decent parent puts their hands on arms and unconscious young girls without nefarious intent. And you know what this guy said? This goes back to, oh, he's just a bad dad. Just a silly, stupid dad. Oh, I was just putting the drug in there to prevent the girls from sneaking out of the house. Oh, it's for their own good, because you know how girls are. Lying little sneaky, manipulative little... Like, I was just trying to protect them. Well, I was just trying to do what I thought was right. His lawyer was like, oh, he's incredibly remorseful and recognizes his conduct was completely inappropriate. No, dude, this is beyond inappropriate. He demonstrated authentic and genuine remorse in his statement to the court, which was nearly 10 minutes. 10 minutes of what? Rambling? Probably crying. That's what these dudes always do. They cry, right? Sometimes they'll literally throw up to just be dramatic. Demonstrating authentic and genuine. What does that even look like? Do you understand that abusers and predators, like, they are so good at fake crying? How do you think they get away with this? How do you think that a man who would do this to preteens, including his own daughter, how do you think they get this far? It's not because they are just so obviously predators. It's because they are so good at fooling people. They are so good at faking emotions. And what did he have to say? My whole life is destroyed. Isn't that punishment enough? That's what he means by that. Everything that was important to me up until that point is gone. I'm the real victim here. I'm the victim. One of the girls said that my life has become a living hell. Two of the mothers gave their impact statements. The girls have spent months recovering from his crimes, which they said represented an extreme betrayal of trust. That's really like, people don't understand, like, why this has such a lasting impact. The same thing I say about, like, men who cheat, or anyone who cheats, but especially men cheat so much. And then they're like, just get over it, like, I didn't really mean anything. It is not about the cheating itself. It's about the betrayal and robbing her of feeling safe and relaxed in her own marriage. These girls, like, do you think, like, they're going to be hyper vigilant? Their nervous system is going to be constantly on guard. They may never have, like, a full night of peaceful sleep ever again. I can't tell you how much this the impact that happening to me as a child has had on my sleep. I literally think it is directly linked to my narcolepsy, in addition to being ADHD and just hyper as hell. Like, when I take an inventory of my sleep life, it all makes sense. We were taught adults are people we can trust, people we can go to when we need help or when we are scared. One of the girls said in her impact statement, yet adults are not people I can simply trust anymore. They are people who scare me and make me think twice. What if they were to hurt me the same way that Mr. Blah did? My life has become a living hell because of you and your actions. I'm so glad she said that to him. I'm so glad that these victims at least get to say a statement before they get screwed over by the courts. And that some publications actually print this. This is more important to me than any other part of the story. I want to hear from them. This dude also said he had planned a fun sleepover because I'm a good dad. But oops, I'm a bad dad when I make mistakes. last summer for his daughter and three of her friends. They didn't go. They didn't go to bed when I wanted them to. He wanted them to be well rested for the next day that he had planned for them, and also so he could sleep. Because if there's one thing that dads don't get enough of, is sleep. I've covered this enough already. Men not only sleep better, they literally have better health just being next to a woman's body. That is not the case for us. We sleep worse having a man next to us. Why do you think that is? Because that's when they usually attack us. Like, I have done endless videos on sleep and the way men abuse women with sleep or lack thereof, or what they do to us in their sleep. But the men's sleep has never been a problem, because I guarantee you, even the most underslept, whatever the word is still getting more sleep. There's a whole game. I did several videos on Don't Wake Daddy. Literally a terrifying man in bed, eating in bed with his dog, and the children, he yells at them if they wake him up. What's he doing? He's probably drunk. And then they have grumpy grandpa. Don't wake grandpa up either. He'll hit you with his cane. And God forbid grandma fall asleep. She's greedy. Greedy grandma. Look at her taking a nap in her chair. She isn't even getting to bed. She's probably watching all the kids because dad's asleep in the middle of the day. So sleep has never been an issue for men, by the way, in terms of it being used and abused to control women. But if this wasn't enough, this dude, besides almost making this one kid overdose and all this other stuff, and he's the victim. He's really the victim. He's lost everything. He also threatens that. He tries to unalive himself, which is also, like I said all the time, if you are ever dating a man who threatens to do that to himself, you need to leave right now. That is abuse. That's abuse. Anyone who threatens to do that to themselves to keep you there, that is abuse. And it is literally on the checklist of things that men do to control you. Some of them actually do it to get back at you, or, but they'll probably take the whole family out if they do it. But a lot of times they're threatening it to keep you from leaving. And then once they finally get in trouble, then what are they going to do? They don't want to ever suffer consequences of their actions. So that's why they would do this, which is what he tried to do. He doesn't want to ever have his day of reckoning, so he tries to take the easy way out. But it doesn't work. So after this, they made him have a little anklet to track his movement, tracking device to prohibit him from using or possessing pew-pews during his... They should have locked this man up. He should not have been free to roam around, because the victims who reported him were terrified. So he tried to shock her with all those things in his house that he was like giving the girls. Well, of course, he's got some to try to do this. And the only reason why he survived is because they were doing a welfare check. It seems like they are more concerned about this man's health than the girls. Not only because of his sentencing, but the fact that they let him out at all while he was awaiting this. Now, as much as I am not for, usually the justice system has been used especially for racism, especially for anti-blackness, right? We know this whole system is so messed up. Like, as messed up as this whole system is, as many innocent people, especially Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, and especially the Black community, is locked up unfairly, innocent, awaiting trial. And then this dude, who was a menace to the whole community, and especially his own daughter, they're just let him go. And then when he tries to unalive himself, they're like, okay, maybe you should wear an anklet. Like, this is why nobody respects this system. Well, some people do. People who look like me love it like this. Not all, but a lot. But this system isn't protecting many people, and it is very good at protecting white men especially. Now, one consequence he did do, for his own daughter consumed a significant amount, okay? So again, these men, so many men are not only a threat to other people in the community, literally he did this to his own daughter. I mean, that girl is lucky she did not like this smoothie. One girl, she made 2 each. One girl consumed both of her smoothies. Another one drank one. The third girl claimed she didn't like it. And then he made her another one and trying to make her drink it. One good thing is that right after this happened, his wife filed for divorce. And he's allegedly living in an RV park while she's in their $1.3 million home. So this great dad planned spa nights. He was extensively involved in taking them out to have their nails done, picking up pizza for dinner, hot tub. But when they put that little GPS thing on him, his attorney was like, there's no reason to enforce this GPS monitoring on him. You know, he's fostering stable relationships with his ex-wife and estranged children. Yeah, I bet. He's also seeking counseling. Honey, counseling can't fix your own daughter and trying to all of her friends. And his this whole attempt at taking his life, it spooked the families of the victims. They see him as a desperate act, it's a threat to the girl's well-being. They begged the district attorney and petitioned the court to enforce this monitor. We are terrified, says a relative of one of the 12-year-olds. He has absolutely nothing to lose. What's to keep him from coming to the house? He's a desperate man who's lost everything, and that makes him very dangerous. Exactly. And now he is in there for 2 years. What does that even mean? We know that like 2 years probably means 1 year or like 3 months. I mean, we know Brock Turner and all that crap. This man's going to be out. He has nothing. These girls will, oh my God, what is this community going to do? Why do you think that he only got 2 years? Well, this will explain it right here. A lot of judges and a lot of, you know what I mean? A lot of the police self-report being abusers themselves. Judges like, of course. And just a little reminder. 2/3 of SA are committed by someone the victim knows. 38% of are friends or acquaintances of the victim. 73% of assaults are perpetrated by a non-stranger. 50% of all take place within a mile of the victim's home. 4 out of 10 in their actual home. I'm sorry, this is a really depressing subject, y'all, but I wanted to talk about it. Because it is a perfect example of how these men can get away with anything, and they're playing all of the stupid, dumb, good dad, no bad dad, no good dad, no bad dad. Oh, poor me. Oh, I think I was threatened to take my life. And the victims are never centered. I also want to talk about. I'm just going to add my own little personal story here. In addition to like what happened to me as like a young child by family members. As much as I love going to slumber parties, please do not just send your kids to slumber party without, a lot of caution. Because at one of my slumber parties, it's not just the dads or grandpa or uncle or whoever, it's their brothers. One of the older brothers of one of my friends convinced me, him and his friend, convinced me to go outside into this little pop-up trailer in their backyard and take all my clothes off. And all kinds of stuff. Y'all, that's just one story. Another older brother took me into his bedroom and showed me corn. I'm also Gen X, y'all. So Gen Xers, a lot of us were just, literally just not at home all the time, right? Not much parent supervision for a lot of reasons. And of course, my mother had no idea any of that was happening. But here's the hope part in this story. That 12-year-old girl, has parents that believe her, has friends of family that believe her, and felt responsible for the safety of all those girls and made sure they got out. The only one that didn't is the daughter. And then thankfully the daughter's mother, the wife, immediately filed for divorce. So everyone around that predator, other than the system itself, was protecting those girls. And that 12-year-old, I can't imagine being that 12-year-old. I'm like, I know this is such a depressing, probably very triggering story for a lot of people, but it really gives me hope. The way she handled that so perfectly. And you know what? Education. Okay? Like, seriously, so many of our parents did not talk to us. I wrote about this for the Washington Post. This was several years ago. Wrote for the Washington Post. Why it's important to talk to our mothers about our Me Too and theirs. I learned so much about some of my family's own experience with this. I interviewed mothers and daughters and how this is what we need to be doing, talking about it. It's not easy, it's not fun, but I would much rather kids, teenagers, young adults be armed with facts and knowledge, and so they know what to do. And let's just then pretending like it just doesn't exist and, you know, good luck, because the silence and not knowing that this is actually a thing and what to do and that we should tell someone, that keeps predators safe and all of us in danger. Talk to your kids, talk to your nieces, your nephews, all of them. Silence and avoiding hard conversations is how this stuff continues. If you want to break the cycle of violence, if you want your kids to feel safe and trust you and not be so vulnerable to this kind of thing, please talk to them and please focus on that 12-year-old. So brave, so smart, so protective of those girls, her friends, and the family that she had around her who believed her and helped her protect them. Anyway, thank you for being here. This one was like really upsetting, y'all. Please join my Patreon. I do lives over there. I've got really exciting lives coming up. Really exciting. I can't wait to tell you who my guests are. I do lives over there. I talk about France. I talk about healing. I talk about my own more personal stories. All kinds of stuff. So please go check it out. The link is in my caption. Et voila. This is my comment song. I'm not feeling so great because this is a hard story to cover, but if you have a comment, leave it now. Oh my God, I'm not even trying in this one, but I want to give you all time to write. Okay, I hope you take care of yourself. Okay, bye.